This video is brought to you by Iona, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Iona is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave.
All right, folks, we're back with another video at Lightship RV. We actually featured them last year on this channel, showcasing kind of a full in-depth tour of the Cosmos edition of this Lightship RV. What is Lightship RV? Well, it's kind of an off-grid experience for elite camping. It's a trailer with an e-axle, big batteries, lots of solar, and a lot of really nice, well thought out living amenities inside. It's actually a really cool concept, and they actually sold out of the Cosmos edition. So now they're introducing new trims, which we have a whole separate video going on the Out of Spec Bits channel where Scott and I are looking at the Atmos trim and discussing the Panos trim and more subsequent lower end trims. But in this video, Kyle is showcasing the entire factory, which is really cool. A first for us to show the real full-fledged production facility. It's actually here in Broomfield, Colorado, which is really cool. And it's awesome to see just how the manufacturing is coming together. They're still figuring it out, and they have lots of really cool plans for improvements along the way. So enjoy this cool experience where Kyle and Ben take you through the Lightship RV manufacturing facility in Colorado.
I'd like to thank our friends at the CCAN Action Fund for sponsoring this video. Guys, we are nearing the end of the CCAN Action Fund annual EV raffle, and truly the odds have never been better to win. You see, there's two situations happening right now. The first is they're giving away more cars than they ever have. So each entry into the raffle offers you not just one, not just two, but 3 chances of winning per ticket. They're also incredibly undersold, which is crazy from my opinion, but it means if you get in there, your chances of winning, yes, are insane. So let me walk you through the prizes just to remind you. I'm sure you already know, but if you happen to win the first place prize, you could choose between a Porsche Taycan or Macan EV, a Rivian R1S or R1T, or a Lucid Gravity or Air. The second place prize, you could win an ID Buzz, a super cool car, absolutely stellar vehicle for a second place prize, or a Hyundai Ioniq 5, also very cool. And for the first time ever, there is a third place opportunity, which is a Chevy Equinox EV. To get in on the action, all you have to do is head to evraffle.org. And of course, I'll leave the link in the description below to enter for your chance to win some of these amazing prizes. And you're supporting a good cause with every entry. Thanks so much to the CCAN Action Fund for sponsoring this video. Well, guys, this is Ben. Welcome back to the channel.
Hey, Kyle. Thanks to you again.
Thank you for having us here at your production facility.
It is our pleasure.
It's our second time to come visit, and it's super cool because we're right down the road from where we film a bunch. So I'm so glad to see manufacturing happening in Colorado.
Here, put this away.
Maybe you can explain to us really quick why Colorado, because I don't think we ever really touched on that to build here.
Yeah, I mean, Made in America is really important for us. Why Colorado in particular is kind of it's a matter of company history. Toby, my co-founder, and I met during the pandemic. Toby grew up in Boulder. He had lived in the Bay Area for about a decade. We both worked at Tesla. You'll recall I was a battery engineer there. He ran the finance team. He was kind of Model S through X era, early late Roadster through X. I was there early Model 3 through origins of the Cybertruck. And we both both of us branched off into the world from our old life as COVID started, as so many of us did.
Yeah.
In my case, it was leaving Tesla, renting an RV for 3 months, and living out of it all around the American West. Nice. to work on starting this. In Toby's case, I was to meet him maybe 6 months later. He had a little girl, June, at that point. She was like living in a broom closet in San Francisco, and he was like, we got to get out of Dodge and back home. So he moved his whole family with a U-Haul back to Colorado, back to Boulder. And when he and I first met, now early 21, we met over Zoom. Originally, we got introduced by a former battery leader at Tesla, and who knew that Toby was trying to start a company as well. And basically, we got to know each other, did all the paperwork to co-found the business, and then I wanted to come. I was like, I should probably meet you in person.
That's great. Yeah.
And so I Turoed a long range Model X and an old vintage high-low trailer.
I remember this story. Yeah.
And I laboriously towed it out here to meet him. We finally met in person, and then we towed it all the way back to the Bay Area for our first pitch, and first kind of fundraising pitch. And so Colorado's been kind of baked into the story from the start. And one of the things, as we were first conceiving the company, was us saying, okay, this may be an artifact of COVID that we're truly kind of locked in place in these two spots right now, but we think there's going to be a big advantage to us to having two hubs, two operational sites. The Bay Area was great for engineering talent and sort of a good commercial launch hub for us. Colorado is an incredible place to build. In a lot of ways, it's much easier to build in Colorado than it is in the Bay. Way more space, cheaper real estate, a lot more skilled labor in the area. And and I think for Toby in particular, he had an inspiration. I want to bring more hard tech and more manufacturing to Colorado. His roots.
Yep.
And so so it worked out. We started building the two hubs: operational hub here, R&D hub over there, and it has stuck and worked well.
Well, it's so cool from my side to be able to see it. Obviously, we came here, how long ago was it? Maybe a year ago?
If that.
Yeah, maybe not.
No, I think, December, it was the week of December 11th when we finished the first Cosmos prototypes.
Yeah, so less than a year ago.
Yep.
But even from then to now, like, the difference is pretty amazing. This was kind of an empty room, and we were like, oh, that's where they're going to build them, hopefully.
Yeah.
And now you are building them.
Yep.
And so that's what essentially we're going to go on a tour today. Before we go and you walk us through the production line, because I'd really love to know the stages, what happens where, even some of the components that are being used, like how that's all coming along. It'd be cool to show the story of what's been going on behind the scenes, because obviously before you go into series production, you actually have to engineer and test and make sure everything works.
Yep.
So this is the unit we've seen everywhere, right? This is the famous unit that was first displayed at South by Southwest. Was that the first public launch when we saw it?
It was, March of 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken, understatement of the century, it's taken a lot to get to this point. This is a celebratory moment for us to finally, almost 5 years since company inception, be entering serial production. There was a lot we had to do along the way, a lot of product development, a lot of getting the idea out there. And I'll take you on a brief historical tour of the different assets that we built to turn this into a reality. We affectionately called this our Alpha vehicle. It is a functional show prototype that we first took to Austin and then hauled to Electrify Expos and shows all over the country to get get people's eyes on the concept.
Yep.
And it's probably a little worse for wear at this point. It's done a lot of miles.
I mean, how many people do you think have been in this thing? Because you had to convince a lot of minds, not only for pre-order holders, but also just buy-in from the investment side of things, from even local governments you're building here. Like, people need to see what you're doing. This did a lot of heavy lifting for you.
No, it really did. We've announced around $60 million of investment to date, and this was a key asset in attracting the sort of capital interest as well for the business. It's everything you said: suppliers, like all of your stakeholders, all the people you need to galvanize behind an idea like this. If you really want a functional, looks like, works like prototype to show it off.
Before this even happened, like, who did the original design intent? Like, you obviously didn't have a bunch of money compared to getting a lot of the investment later.
Yeah.
But you still had to do this. So how did that actually work?
Oh man, it's a winding tale that I can try to make short. I guess it starts with me back after doing an RV road trip through COVID. Leave Tesla, take an RV road trip. I started sketching on the idea of this. I was back in my apartment in San Francisco at the time. I had sold all my Tesla stock to bootstrap the business from the early days. It wouldn't cover even close to this. And I had been trying one version of the business that wasn't working. It was us as a supplier, and then realized, oh my gosh, I got to pivot, and this needs to be America's first modern ground up all electric RV manufacturer and go direct to the end consumer.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about that in this video on like what you're doing. We have covered it in other videos, but like every other RV manufacturer is stuck in 1975. I really don't get it.
Your words, not mine. But
Yeah, sure.
But,
Well, as an owner of one of them, like previously, worst thing I've ever owned.
I think
I just hate that whole industry. It needs a complete rethink.
there's not been a lot of innovation in the space for literally decades, and quality standards have really suffered over the years too.
Absolutely.
People still RV in droves. 10% of the country owns one of these things, believe it or not, because it's such a beloved way to get into the outdoors and do road tripping. But it was time for an update. So, yeah. So early days, it was napkin sketches, and I guess me putting some of my last money into hiring an industrial designer to sketch a concept of this. Then, let's see, early 2021, we put together the investment pitch for this, raised some first capital. Took a few months, but began to hire the first few engineers and designers. We were really lucky to have a guy named Rob Williams, who was Rivian's former chief creative officer. He took them through the R1T, R1S launch at LA Auto Show.
Yeah.
He reached out to me and Toby when we were basically two guys with a LinkedIn page, and we almost, this is kind of a funny artifact of history, but we almost didn't believe what Rob was saying to us, because we were like, there's no way former creative head of Rivian is hitting up us two jokers.
Yeah, that feels,
but,
of course.
But luckily it was for real.
That's
so
good.
So Rob came on board, and we we had the concept. I'd already been doing aerodynamics work with an aerodynamicist who we knew from Tesla days.
Yeah.
And then we started sketching on themes, and Rob really led this work from the early days. But it was like, okay, we have an engineering concept, we have a concept for the product. How do we start to make this really exciting and real? And so when we were 9 or 10 people, we did a whole theme review where you've got the pin-up boards on the wall and you're looking at different themes. We chose the most radical one, which was tons of panoramic windows all the way around. And this is kind of cool. By the way, if you want to
so this is how you move them around.
Yep.
And that's actually in a upcoming video. We're going to be able to tow it for the first time. Has anyone towed it yet? Like outside of you guys?
You're the first. You be the first.
Damn. And we're going to use this Rivian.
Yep.
So nice R1T, max pack dual motor. Same as Scott's, just with T instead of an S. So that'll be cool.
I should say, of course, we've had customers go out and tow it. Kind of people who are thinking about buying, but y'all are first members of the media.
That's a fancy term. YouTubers, silly YouTubers.
Okay. Yeah. How do you want to say it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that.
So you went for the most radical design.
Yeah, we went for the radical design. We were not able to build this ourselves, of course. Back then, we were fewer than a dozen people, and so, but many of us came from automotive, and we knew the approach of how a car company would start out building a new type of product.
That's what having experience, working in auto industry with your team.
It is essential. I think it's one of the underpinnings of the whole business, is that we would take an automotive approach, an automotive light approach to building a new category of product. We went to a really great show car builder down in LA. They helped us in the end frantically piece together this whole thing and get it out to South by Southwest to do the first big unveil, and it generated a lot of buzz kind of from that point onwards. If you look at some of the details of it, you'll note that we were still using off-the-shelf stuff at this point. It was mini splits, residential mini split systems, not like the fully integrated high voltage thermal control system that we have now.
Yeah, you guys went for a very automotive-like system in the new vehicles with loops that are all designed in that. Well, we'll get into it later on, but it's pretty cool to see what y'all are doing.
But so I think for the nerds among us, folks should sort of keep in your mind's eye the progression of how, for instance, this area, the tongue box or the aero hub, how the packaging and wiring has changed over time.
What's crazy is you went so hardcore on this initial prototype. Like you probably could have just said it will have a battery.
Yep.
And not put one in. Or you didn't need to go battery cooling and all this stuff.
In retrospect, we might have gotten away with this being more of a glider, just a show car or a pusher, as they're often called in automotive. one thing that we really did benefit from in having this be a full engineering exercise was that we got this prototype to play double duty. We got a lot of engineering learning from putting it together, even if we didn't use it functionally that much when we were out at the events. To have done that full exercise and then get a lot of kind of brand exposure or marketing content from it as well was key. And I think that when I say the automotive light approach, that's a good example of what I'm referring to, which is that a car company takes 5 years and $1 billion plus to pull together a ground up product.
Totally.
We do not have that benefit as a new startup.
Sure.
And so we've done sort of everything you're going to see here in about $50 million spent to date, which has taken a lot of kind of creative consolidation of assets, making things do multiple things for you to progress the business.
Sure. So not only is it supposed to look pretty in photos and tours on YouTube or whatever, it's also here to work.
Yep.
And for you guys to learn and test and get numbers and duty cycle it. So
right.
that I think is really cool, because you're essentially building something that's as complicated as a car and as complicated as a house together with a much smaller budget.
Yep.
And that's really hard.
Yes, it is. It has taken great creativity on the capital front to pull this all together.
Yeah, I can imagine. That would be the scariest thing for me. I wouldn't even know how to begin to do that. So, I mean, Toby sounds like he's the man and knows what he's doing there. But
he knows finance well.
Yeah, so that's good. You kind of need a Toby if you're doing something like this.
Amen. I definitely need my Toby.
Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't do anything without him.
Very cool. Yep. Very cool. So now this is of huge interest to me, because this looks kind of almost, this came after this then?
Yeah, this is actually 2 pedigrees later. So this is one of the final pre-production vehicles. We call it a Beta 2 pedigree. The one that you and I were in last winter was Beta 1.
Oh, okay.
So we did, basically the progression was from an alpha vehicle to a Beta 1 vehicle, one more step to Beta 2, and then we enter production off of that. So this is Beta 2. We built it in the spring before we could build a full production vehicle, and the thinking there was, one, again, cost savings. You don't have to build all of it to get a lot of the learnings from it.
If you're trying to go for chassis, electronics, thermal, motors, you don't need all the other stuff on there. You can just stress test the hell out of this.
Yeah, technically this is a good representation of the platform, and so we could get a lot of learnings off of this. We were able to build this months in advance of being able to build a full vehicle, and we've put thousands of miles on it before to get those learnings as fast as possible.
And even today, do you guys still use this anymore? Is it kind of here for show, or what's?
Definitely not here for show. The guys are. Do you guys mind?
Actively doing things.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So still very much relevant. Nice. Very cool.
Because I really can't do it justice. Do you guys mind explaining a little bit of what you're working on here?
This is the underbody of the vehicle, and it's specifically for testing out the power system. So getting all of the power electronics to work together, the high voltage battery and the charging system and things like that. So making changes on that system to make it more robust and handle errors better and things like that.
Very cool. Well, we're hoping for fast charging, so appreciate that. We'll be the ones, hottest day possible of the year, plugging it into a charger, and it's kind of got to be, actually, maybe I'd love to hear your opinion. It doesn't need to be the fastest charging thing ever, because if you can hook it up at the same time as your truck, most electric trucks kind of charge like crap. I'm the one saying that. So as long as it can get from like 10 to 80 or whatever in 40, 45, 50 minutes, then it should be pretty doable to match with the vehicle.
That, I think, is what our onboard charger is spec'd for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Very good.
But by way of introduction, Jake, amazing software engineer on the team. Zach, awesome integration engineer. Other Zach. We got a lot of Zachs on the team.
I'll just default everyone Zach now.
Crack technician.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Well, good to meet you guys. Appreciate it. And we'll be experiencing your work at some point, out in the field. So looking forward to that. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, dudes. Other maybe just interesting details are how we've ballasted this vehicle up to weight. So the whole vehicle dry is just over 7,000 pounds, and in the Atmos spec that we talked about. And so we added enough weight on board that when we're taking this out and towing it, we're getting kind of the full structural load to make sure that it lasts at that load. Yeah, you can see we put some miles on it. Things getting dirty.
Love to see it. That's honestly really cool.
This was another Beta 1 pedigree vehicle.
Interesting.
But you'll see, in fact, this one doesn't have an interior in it. So we built the body, we built the underbody, no interior, because this was mostly about testing the body controls, meaning things like the canopy.
All right, I got to ask you about this.
Ask me.
Okay, this seems to be, there's a trade-off between complication and cost and function.
Yep.
And from the outside looking in, and I know everyone's going to comment it, this is really scary.
Yep.
This whole mechanism, how that's going to work, and how's it going to be repeatable after being shaken up and on rock roads and everything like that.
Yep.
So maybe I'd love to hear your take on it.
Why do this?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This, I remember a conversation that Toby and I had probably almost 4 years ago at this point, where we had done all of this aerodynamics work and we're looking at the distinction between a fixed height vehicle and a dual mode telescoping vehicle, a hard-sided telescoping trailer. And we said to each other, this is going to be one of the sort of like the key parts of this product. It will be the eye-catching part of it. Even more important, it will be the key performance enabler if we go to a telescoping design. This will also be one of the hardest things to pull off and do so in a way that is truly reliable in sort of all the way through life. And we've been right. It is the hardest thing about getting this right. The reason we did it up front was twofold. One was that in telescoping the vehicle, we reduced the frontal area by about 40%. It's a little better than a 30% total drag reduction on the vehicle, so that you're talking like significant.
Massive aero benefit, which is all about towing. Actually, Robert Dunn just did a great video. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, Aging Wheels. He did a Silverado EV tow test, but with a bunch of different trailers and a bunch of different aero. And it really confirmed what we have shown in our testing as well, which is unless you're going one direction uphill, weight almost doesn't matter. It is all about the aero profile of the trailer.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Most tires are so low rolling resistance at this point that they're pretty insensitive to mass, whereas aero this is the energy you will never get back.
That's right.
You know? So we said, all right, 60, 70 miles every charge, that's a lot. That is a lot to go for. The other thing that we knew in developing a flagship like this is we wanted it to be truly different, truly awesome, not a cookie cutter sort of just an adaptation of convention. We wanted to do the hard thing and do it right. By doing this telescoping action, one thing we've gotten is the panoramic vista. When you don't have a bunch of cabinets on the walls, what do? You make windows out of them. If we hadn't committed to it up front, it probably would not have ended up
filled with
like this
stuff.
It just would have been another cluttered, any other cluttered RV. We also really wanted that feeling of spaciousness that you get out of the really tall ceiling, and you're only going to get a 7.5 foot ceiling on a travel trailer if you commit to something like this. And so, ultimately the proof will be in the pudding. It will be, have we done our jobs well enough? Have we engineered this in a bomb-proof sort of automotive spec way to make sure that this is the greatest part, or one of the greatest parts of this product, not its Achilles heel. I can tell you, we have put enormous work into making that so. We've done a ton of design iterations on the actuators themselves. We've done lots of testing on the component level, on the subsystem level, meaning cycling just a single actuator on its own. Most recently, you'll see this on the technology page of our website. We did our first kind of 24-hour endurance test.
Just cycling it, right?
Yep, just 1,000 times.
Is that this unit that you did it with?
Yep. This is the one. Yeah, you could probably even, you can take a look at it.
Yeah.
The wear patterns have been really, really solid
on
it over that period. We've also put tens of thousands of miles on these Beta 1 prototypes. Happy to say that all of the canopy actuators are still working in great shape despite many thousands of miles of road wear. We feel really good about it, and we are going to continue to work at it being the standout feature not the downside.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it, and I guess maybe for another video when we get to like actually reviewing the series unit. But I'd love to hear about the service plans and everything. We touched on it in our original video, so people can go back and watch that. But hopefully, you don't even need much. And if this is as bomb-proof as the claim, then should be good. Yeah,
that is our.
I'm excited about it from someone who tows a lot with electric. And again, these can be towed behind any tow vehicle. But I think a lot of our audience would love to see, Rivian, Cybertruck, etc., towing these things. It just is like so important to get not just the motors and the battery and all that stuff, but to get this thing down makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I mean, to give you a real world example of this, we have a roughly 75 kilowatt hour pack on board, and thanks to the aero, it's able to propel this trailer for about 300 miles of cruising range, top to bottom of charge. If we had stopped at the electric part, if it wasn't aero electric, we'd probably need to put a 140 kilowatt hour pack on it. It would weigh
just to offset its resistance.
We're not even that same 300-ish miles. Okay, great. 140 kilowatt hours, 2,000 pounds. The trailer's a dog. At that
totally.
Point. So this is essential to fulfilling the mission.
I love to hear it. I mean, this is the coolest part to me. I can't wait to test this and play around with it in the future, because that is unlike anything we've ever seen, really. And maybe for good or bad reason. I'm not sure yet. I guess time will tell. Sounds like for good reason. It's going to be awesome.
I'm excited for you to put it to the test.
Yeah, cool. Excited. So, of course, we can discuss, and if you watch our previous video, I just think it's important to show everyone here as well. You guys were one of the few folks to go with the NACS port early on. Obviously, it's just a port design over CCS, but even then, it wasn't guaranteed that the infrastructure would be there to kind of support NACS. Now the industry's kind of gone that way. And so I give you guys a lot of credit for doing that. Thought it was cool. It's a cool marketing thing, too. And I think it's awesome that you have the port.
We had strong conviction in it. Our head of software and controls, Troy, is actually one of the patent holders for the original NACS standard. He led the charging team at Tesla through the late 2000s into 2010s, and we weren't going to have Troy on the team and not put NACS in.
His own connector in there. Yep, cool.
We also just think it's the best. It is the best connector out there. Best for a user.
Yep. And so now, I guess, just discussing the facility a little bit.
Yes.
We've gone down this side where you have some of the still working but prototype-y stuff.
Yep. So this is kind of prototype alley. This portion will become our local service bay for folks who are in the Denver area.
Oh, nice, cool.
And I mentioned we have another service and sales center in San Francisco.
Yeah.
What is now hitched up to the Rivian.
Yeah, you guys were just inside that.
We were.
Yeah.
that was one of the last of those Beta 1 vehicles as well. Cool. And then this is the first true kind of fully built production vehicle going together right now.
Damn.
It's in the Atmos Shade Moss colorway, and I think I know you guys looked closely at some of the parts from the previous versions, and you will see a raft of improvements on this, even little things which we could probably do as a side-by-side here between we'll see this on some of the other vehicles as well. If you look at the wiring on that tongue box area over there, it's a prototype.
Yeah,
it's clearly a prototype. When we go to some of these production grade vehicles, we are super cleaned up. It is like a truly automotive production grade wiring harness and system.
Yeah, everything's so downsized. You're now sharing loops or using, sort of automotive tier 1 heat pump style situations, which is great.
Yep, that's
and cabling's all been shortened up. Everything's really nice in a correct space. That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, it's come a long way. We're proud of it.
Yeah, cleaning this up that's the production hitch style?
Yep. Production grade.
So this is all interesting to me. This is all for accelerometers or for the power system?
Force sensing.
Force sensing, okay.
Yep. That's force sensing. We can actually do vertical and horizontal loads. We can give you your tongue weight as well,
cool.
Which is pretty nice if you're trying to make sure you're not overloading your tow vehicle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
That's great.
Yep.
And does any bit of the Trek drive system, which are the motors, does it tie into the vehicle systems, or is it kind of handled on the trailer side?
effectively standalone, except that it takes the brake signal from the truck that's pulling it, and if it sees the brake, then it kills the truck drive.
Makes sense.
Kills the power.
But that's really cool, because now what you don't have to do is go, and convince a large automaker to open up their systems to then let you have access to the vehicle controls data.
Yeah.
You can just do it all on your own.
Full compatibility, whether you're towing with an electric truck or a gas or diesel truck, and not having to rely on the creation of a new standard. That was ground zero for truck drive.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, this is what I can't wait to experience what it's like. I mean, you have so many firsts here, but as someone who's a nerd about towing, I can't wait to see how this all feels. So stay tuned for the next video, because that's what we're about to experience with that unit right there.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Cool. Love to hear it.
We could probably take a peek in.
So how long has this been in production for? I mean, obviously the first one might take longer than when you get ramped up.
Yeah, we're on slightly less than a 2-week build cadence right now. We'll end the year at about double that rate, and end of next year it's going to be far in
You'll
excess
be
of
ripping
that.
next year.
Yep.
Dude, so cool to see. So has this one been purchased, or is this a demo unit, or what's going to happen with this one?
This is one of our last demo units. We're building two more demo vehicles. The one after that, which is already in the line, is serial number 1 going to the first customer. Actually, technically the second customer. We delivered one already.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And one of the ones you delivered was a Cosmos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Cosmos, and it was actually sort of, this was, of all the Cosmos owners, this was to, we have one kind of friendly owner, and we wanted him to already start giving us some product feedback.
So he's open to testing and helping out, dial in the last few things. Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Those are the kind of the best guys to sell to originally.
Yeah, he and his whole family took it out for a fly fishing trip
cool.
a couple months back in Redding, California, and they had a blast.
So if you see one out on the road, that would be pretty cool, actually.
That's Andrew's.
Yeah, okay. Sick. Awesome to hear.
His deposit still framed on the wall.
Okay, amazing. Really cool.
Yeah,
congrats on that.
So this one's just going together. You have to look a little bit for the details, but so much of this stuff is just incomparable. I would say to what we were building a year ago. I mean, for instance, hop on the outside and feel the door.
Dude, this is a different door. Feels good. Can I close it?
Fully re-engineered. Yeah, should be.
Oh, you have like a totally different handle design out here too. That's cool. Oh,
Feels
nice.
Rock solid. Feel it from the inside
Way
too.
better than the new Rivian door closing second.
Yeah, I was going to say Gen 2 Rivian could learn a thing from this. Oh, sorry. What did you want me to do?
Hop in.
Hop in? All right, cool. Hopping in.
Feel it the same on the inside. We've got a grab handle on it now. Lots of little refinements like this.
Dude.
Try that.
Super cool.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Dude, Rivian really needs to come over here and benchmark that. Jordan, try that.
Oh, and by the way, this one, of course, telescopes up and down. If you ever telescoped it low, try it up there. Yup.
Feels the same weight too.
Damn.
Yeah, same pressure. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick.
Big.
Also, like really cool to see all the wiring, and the looms are perfectly sized and like very auto grade and really nicely done. So that's the cool part here. Is I've been to an unnamed RV maker in the past, and it didn't look anything like that. That is very much automotive style. So really exciting from my side.
Yep, Jim and Mauricio, our wire harness engineers, have both done a lot of wire harness design from automotive tier 1 suppliers before this, and I'm pretty darn sure this is the only RV out there with a custom automotive grade wire harness. Built with a lot of design for manufacturability considerations from the get-go. It's about
just so cool.
Yeah, this is one of maybe six custom harnesses. There are two big ones: the canopy harness, which you see overhead there, and then another one in the underbody. This is cool because this is the parts of it that you're never going to see in the finished product. This, for instance, is the wire harness that runs down the hoop here over to the front, and then to an IGUS chain, basically like an automation wire bundle cable management assembly. This is how we pass wires between the underbody and the upper body.
Dude, and everything's got to do this too, which is kind of crazy to think about.
It's no mean feat.
Yeah, damn, so many moving parts. Then you got to think about HVAC. Like you have the routing for HVAC behind the seat that will eventually go over here.
That's right. So that's the outlet for the blower,
Right.
the HVAC blower. And then you may recall we were talking off camera about how the best design is when you can elegantly get one set of parts to do multiple things. That is good, integrated, efficient design. You can sort of see it from this seat back here. The seat back is all hollowed out there, and so we use the seat back as a channel for the HVAC ducting.
So cool.
And kill a few birds with one stone.
Damn. It's amazing to think too that, like, you know, from the show unit to this, a lot of times in prototypes, okay, really cool prototype, and then it goes way downhill afterwards. If anything, this feels identical, maybe better. Certainly feels sturdier. I mean, and obviously it's not done, but you're not losing anything going to series production.
No, but I mean, quite the contrary. I'd say 60 or 70% of the parts in that prototype we toured last year have been revised, re-engineered again for cost and durability and assemblability. We're proud to show this off in this state because this is sort of the level of quality that we're bringing to it. Like I want this on camera.
Yeah.
This is like,
which is so unusual for us to hear that in you know, the car industry, let alone the RV industry. So
yeah, I mean, one thing that is cool that we just tallied is that we're I think if we were a car, we would be just slightly the most made in America car on the road. We slightly edge out the Model Y.
Oh, really?
We're almost 80% domestic goods in the supply chain, and of course we're building here just north of Denver in Broomfield. We think that the way that you will get the best quality at the right time, the best products to your customers, especially here in America, is if you build it yourself.
well, I love to hear that. That is really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, I think also something that's unique in this space as well. Not that there's so much going on in like electric vehicle world still, it's infancy and especially components, but I think this type of stuff is so cool. It will actually inspire people to do their own stuff as well, which would be really awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a interesting kind of geopolitical landscape as the backdrop to all this, and I think there's a lot of high level conversation about this new revolution in American manufacturing, and people asking, what does it look like? And I say this.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's so awesome. I mean, everyone around here, you're supporting local jobs. Like, first of all, there's not that many people working at Lightship. You guys are pretty scrappy, which is awesome.
Yep.
But also, it kind of does feel like there's a lot of people here, and it's already kind of supporting some great, I would say, EV infrastructure in the Colorado area.
That's the aim.
Yeah, I like to see it. I think it's super cool. So you've got parts. I mean, so we're going backwards through the production line,
so yeah,
right?
this is final assembly. Why don't we go to the start of the line over there?
Let's go in chronological order. I love that you've got chassis, platforms.
Yep, that's right. This is some part staging. Right now we have a lot of parts landing as we're getting the first units built. More dunnage on the walls, on the racking system there.
Yeah.
We've got a kind of a part logistics system, a part staging system in the line side.
And how did you decide to design this, and how did you come up with this? Because that's something I would have no clue how to even start laying things out and where.
Yeah, I mean, the person to talk to, the people to talk to are Haley Cashdollar, who runs our manufacturing operation. She runs the operation broadly, manufacturing included. She was a manufacturing leader at Proterra before this, set up a couple of their factories building transit buses and battery packs here in the States. Aaron Davenport, who's our supply chain leader, he has a background in supply chain logistics that includes line-side logistics. He did a lot of work in distribution centers as well, and so he knows a thing or two about having an organized parts kind of on-demand part storage system. It is a whole beast in its own right to get this organized.
I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, I guess it's going to be also some trial and error. Things will look different when you're building not one every 2 weeks and you're building one a day or whatever you get to. Things will have to probably expand too. I mean, do you have room here if you need to?
It's going to need to get more organized as we go. Like you're saying, low volume is kind of our crutch right now. We already feel good about it, but things like, for instance, staging the flooring over there, we're not going to be able to do that line side anymore as we start pushing more volume through the line. This as well as some of the other large parts are going to be stored just off-site and then brought to the line day of, sort of on demand.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And also, in terms of stages, I mean, these are relatively big and cumbersome things to move around. It's not like you have one of those rolling conveyor belts. So a vehicle can stay in its stage for multiple purposes. It's not like we were just in the Ford F-150 Lightning factory, for example, and you're like, this one stage, you put the headlights in. This next stage, you put the taillights in. You're going to do a lot per stage.
Yeah, exactly. This is somewhere between continuous flow, which a really high volume automotive plant would use, with, you know, fixed conveyance, and it's always in motion, and batch building, where sort of everything gets built onto a vehicle or to the product in one station. This setup is it's a staged approach where we have, I think it's six build stations, and we accomplish a certain amount of work content in each station and then index the line forward.
Yeah.
So it'll get indexed a couple times per day as the line ramps up. I'll speak to the general flow of the production system.
That would be great to hear.
So we have materials, some of which will be staged off-site, more staged in the in the rack system over here. The shape of the production line is a W shape, basically.
Okay. Yep.
So we have chassis through interior build on this leg of the
So you
W.
get all the way to interior over here, which I guess makes sense. That's what you have going on down there.
Yep. On the other side is the canopy build, as well as a couple sub-assembly stations where we're putting together things like junction boxes or window assemblies. All of that happens on that far leg. And then I said it's a W because the two come together and we marry. We have a marriage station as well, but instead of it being just battery pack to body, in our case, marriage happens as the canopy and the tub come together.
That's
that
cool.
happens basically right under the flag.
Oh,
there.
okay.
And
I know that's what these cranes are for, to help with that process.
yeah, so the overhead gantries.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Take that one, for instance. That one indexes a fully built canopy over to an underbody with tub, which will be staged right there and then married together.
It's incredible to think the infrastructure needed just to start building these things.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And
this is part of all of this, the lifts, the overhead gantries. This is part of what we've landed in the last 6 months to get this thing going.
Yeah, well, congrats on that. I mean, it's very bespoke to this application. I guess you could build them in different places if you wanted to, but it would require upfitting a building with all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you think you're going to stay in Colorado building for a long time?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Cool. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. So now what do we have kind of here? I guess this is the first
this is
stage.
station one.
Yeah,
Station
okay.
one right here. So you can see before we have an axle with wheel and tires on it.
And do you
start-
forklift them along, or how do you move them from station to station at the moment?
Well, let's see. So right now, actually, we should ask the guys. Right now, the chassis gets lifted onto the lifts here, or in this case, just on fixed stands.
Yeah.
We'll start using the lift, and we install the bulk of the powertrain onto it.
Oh, okay.
Then we put the axles on and lower it down on the lifts so it can glide into the next station.
And these are bespoke batteries for your use case. Like the enclosures are.
Actually, no. This is really a key reason that we can exist as a company, because this is not automotive scale yet.
Sure.
At least is there is this whole great supply chain of EV components that Global Automotive has invested who knows how many hundreds of billions of dollars in over
insane
the past
money.
15 years.
Yes.
We stand on the shoulders of giants for some of the key components, like the battery pack, for instance. Many of us on the team have worked on batteries. We know how much goes
That's
into
your world, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for a while. We know how much goes into building a really high quality, cost competitive battery pack, and we were not going to take that on as a first leap. And so we buy from a large scaled pack manufacturer and integrate them into our frame rails.
And roughly how many kilowatt hours? What type of cells? LFP cells?
Yeah, LFP pack. It's just over 77 gross, 72 usable.
It's pretty sizable, dude. And you'll sell one in the future with less battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, Jordan and I were talking about it, and Scott too earlier. We're going to do. We have one variant called Panos, which is about half of the pack capacity.
And is this the full pack?
Yep. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
77 kilowatt hours.
We could probably
there.
squeeze even more.
Yeah.
Long range version.
We've certainly bandied about with the idea of a double stack.
Yeah.
Or
Hell yeah.
double pack.
GM style. Just start throwing batteries at it.
Yeah, the Ultra.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that'd be sick. Okay. But still, this is really designed to get you, like you and your truck, basically not losing range towing this trailer.
Yep. First few hundred miles, about 300 miles, if it's a gas truck, you're keeping your unladen highway fuel economy. If it is an EV truck, keeping your range.
Yeah, totally. And that's the coolest part. I mean, most people aren't driving across the country with their travel trailers, which you still could do with this and charge it up with the truck.
Yeah.
But like here in Colorado, a lot of people live in the Front Range. They tow up to the mountains.
Yep.
They go camping, 50, 100 miles away from their house, then they come back down. That's
Yep.
like a typical weekend here. And this is perfect for that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You could do that trip and still have a good amount of energy to actually run the camping loads, and the whole time you're pulling in solar, even as you're in motion.
And you can regen down the hill.
Yeah. Right.
That's the stuff I can't wait to play around with. That's going to be really cool.
You'll feel that on the truck drive.
So we've got some other stuff going on. I mean, just in general, like everything is bespoke, custom made for your application and designed. You've got tanks that fit in perfectly. You've got high voltage lines that are all cut to the correct size with the correct, insulation on them. And I mean, anything here that really stands out as something our viewers would love to see. I mean, I love the integration of all these modules, I guess inverters, chargers, other stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we don't have the high voltage junction box in there. That's a in-house Lightship built
no way.
component. We junction all these components together and do the switching basically between
Very
them.
cool.
That's been a key point of integration for us. But yeah, we'll have battery packs, onboard chargers. This is an external BMS for the battery packs. A heat exchanger there. That heat exchanger does the heat exchange between the ethylene glycol water coolant and the refrigerant. So this is how you would scavenge heat off of the powertrain.
Which is so cool that we're talking about heat scavenging and thermal loops on an RV.
Right.
Which is typically very much I guess this would feel more comfortable to our audience who are familiar with automotive design. But RV design is very much you buy one thing for one purpose. So you have an air conditioner and then you have a separate heater. And then you would, if they ever did a powertrain, you would have that as a separate tack-in unit. This is one system designed to do everything.
That's exactly right.
Which, I just think is unheard of from the RV world. It's so cool.
Yep. Yeah, this is, I think, below the skin, this is a lot of the stuff that makes it truly a new type of product, a new thing that is out there, because no one has done the ground up design of a new system like this.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's as complicated as building a car and a house together. What are these tanks for back here? Gray and black?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can see it on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Black tank, gray tank.
So you've got your dump out this side then.
Actually, over there. So
I can see. There's the
There's the sluice. You see them together. We have automatic valves.
Dude, that's actually kind of cool. So it's all electronically controlled.
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Tap a button, you dump gray first. Excuse me.
Black first,
then gray.
Yep.
These are the stabilizer. The leveling feet.
Yep.
So we actually didn't build these into the prototype vehicles earlier, but the way that auto leveling system works is that first the tongue jack levels the vehicle front to back, and then these two leveling feet do side to side, and then there's a set of stabilizer jacks up front that come down to stop the vehicle from bouncing. Scott and I were talking about this earlier. There's your drive unit right there.
And the thing to remember for our viewers is you don't need like a crazy juicy drive unit. We're not talking hundreds of kilowatts of power, maybe even under 100 kilowatts of power, especially continuous. The goal of this is just to offset the drag.
Yep. You get a nice performance boost from it, but the key, and this is key actually from an efficiency and a safety standpoint. Efficiency, I mean both energy and cost, because you want to have a relatively small drive unit that, again, we can pull from the automotive supply chain and get amazing competitive cost from it.
Yeah.
And then you want it to be relatively small as well, because the point of the trailer is not to hit the drag strip. You can do that. You can do that with your quad motor.
Of course.
It is just to provide some assist, provide a boost in certain conditions. Gas folks love this too, by the way. If you're maybe merging onto the freeway, you want some extra oomph to get up to speed. This helps you do that and stays pretty well synchronized with your transmission. It effectively hybridizes your truck.
Yeah,
with a traditional
that's the
truck.
other thing. You're not locked to selling just to EV truck owners. We just live in our very small bubble of EV truck owners. But percentage-wise, like even F-150 Power Boost Hybrid and other cool trucks coming down the road, this is great for any powertrain application.
And it kind of proofs in the pudding. Half of our first buyers are towing with a traditional gas or diesel.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
It is an even split.
Wow.
EV people and gas people all coming to it.
Yeah, so I can just see more cabling coming in now.
Yep, exactly. So we're a little further along in the harnessing.
Yeah.
This is that that main junction point.
Is that a proprietary plug for you guys?
I don't think so. A lot of it we've been able to get away with off-the-shelf connectors, but high grade stuff. We wouldn't want to get too deep into developing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Here's some of the harnessing now laid out. Really, really clean harnessing.
Night and day difference from the early Alpha that we just looked at. For example, that had just to remind the viewers, that had that big Mitsubishi Electric mini split in there, and now fully dialed in.
Yep. Low voltage fusing, low voltage but high power junctioning, 12 to 48 DC-DC converter,
all the solar
bidirectional.
stuff.
Solar charge controllers, the tongue jack.
How much of the system's 48 volt?
Just a small bit of it. It's mostly the actuation system. We wanted to get to that higher voltage. I would like in the not too distant future to keep pulling more and more of the components up to 48 volt. Seems like that is probably the long-term automotive direction, and I think we'll follow suit.
Yeah, it's just hard to get any supply base of 48 volt stuff at the moment.
Yep. I think it'll turn over as more of automotive comes on board. It's a big boon for us because we're talking about 40-foot wire lengths.
Totally.
So there's big benefit to upping the voltage.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
There's that the power hub we talked about.
Right.
We sweat the details. Like if you're gonna level 2 charge your truck off of your trailer, you might as well use an EV rated outlet.
I was going to say, shout out to Tom Malagny on that. That gets the state of charge stamp of approval right there. That's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
No cheap, $35 NEMA 1450 on there.
We're trying to build a high quality product that lasts.
Yeah.
This stuff matters.
Yeah, the little details. I love that. That's great.
This is some of the manufacturing jigging, some of the equipment that we landed. So this is a very large fixture that we use to align those actuators, the four actuators, so that they're plumb to each other before we build the body around it.
Smart.
Yeah. Another kind of nerdy but unsung story to this is how we have engineered the product as well. We have, I guess in the discipline they'd call it geometric dimensioning and tolerancing. It is an engineered vehicle with tolerancing applied to it. So as opposed to just hoping all the parts go together and then grinding stuff away, if they don't, we've done the engineering up front to make sure that they do fit together every
plus
time.
Plus or minus a little bit.
Yeah, and parts are replaceable as well. So if a part comes in tolerance, I can guarantee that I can pull the old one off, put the new one on, it'll fit. This is something that I think Smith & Wesson pioneered many years ago with handgun.
Yeah, 1800s
design.
I guess it would have been late 1800s. Yeah.
And it's pretty novel.
This is a nice color on this one.
Yeah, this is the Dusk Horizon.
And where did
colorway.
these panels come from? Like, how does that all work?
U.S. based composites supplier, and they're actually they work with a couple of other auto companies as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it really is automotive grade stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very cool. Very
it's a foam core fiberglass layup, two fiberglass skins.
And obviously most of the interior and everything you try, I assume, to keep in the bottom portion of the whole unit for weight, for manufacturing, for going up and down, just keep stuff down here.
Yep.
But what percentage of the weight is up top versus down low, would you say?
Let's see, fully built, like I said, the trailer is just over 7,000 pounds, and we're probably, if you put some stuff in the canopy as well, you're at about 2,000 pounds.
Okay.
So 2 to 7. But
so these do have some work to lift then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
It's not nothing. But you're absolutely right that we've tried to pull as much weight as possible off of that top half, the canopy.
It's so weird to see it as a convertible. What would you call it in this state?
We don't have a very sexy name
Roadster.
for it. It's the tub.
It's the tub? Okay. Yeah, Roadster. That's the appropriate name. Let's go with that.
We've yet to fill it with water.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be not a good day, actually.
Nope.
Don't do that. Don't fill it up.
One thing
and
from
this is one thing I don't know if our viewers realize, but you really did give so much space for storage.
Yep. Full pass-through garage, as we call it.
I like it. That's good.
And you can see you've got quite a bit of space beyond the lip too, so you can fish really large, tall things up into there and still have it fit under the bed. Speaking to the assembly techniques here, one thing that is really useful that we can do with the overhead crane is that we sub-assemble portions of the furniture off offline here, and then we can just crane them in.
And do you do most of that sub-assembly here on site for furniture, seating, stuff like that?
It's a mix. To be honest, we've tried to push as much of the fabrication and sub-assembly into the supply base so that we're not clogging up the line with lots of sub-assembly work.
Yeah.
But like there are certain portions of the furnishings that we will build just offline, and then while we still have the benefit of an open top, crane it in. That's partially just to reduce the number of people who need to be crowding in the space and allow work to happen in parallel before you drop it in.
Yeah, it's way easier when you have all this extra room just to drop everything in there. You don't need to haul in all that stuff. That's awesome.
Big benefit from of that, that kind of old move that we made in having it be a telescoping design is that we can manufacture a lot of it when it's still fully open and accessible.
Love to see it. And I love how, everything's stationed out. This is exactly where it goes, and then everyone knows what to do. And
every vehicle has a traveler.
This will be the second demo unit, I guess?
Yeah, that's right. This is, this one is going to get married to that canopy over there.
So that and this are together.
Yep, next couple working days. And then the two that you saw behind it are the first customer deliveries.
And so I assume these will be the ones that our viewers will see in the not too distant future on the channel.
That's right.
Which will be really cool. Cool to be able to go back and actually watch them getting built. I'm just noticing your 12 volt is actually LFP.
That's right.
That's really
right.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, again, I think the easy thing to do would be throw an old lead acid battery into it.
That's what everyone else would have done.
Have it die on you.
Yeah.
Halfway through your trip, or come back to it in the dead of winter and it's cooked.
Yep.
We thought the right thing to do was put a high quality, even 12 volt primary battery into it.
Love a lithium 12 volt option. Yep. That's really cool.
If you want to take a brief step into here,
would love to. Dang.
Just a cool look at how it how it starts to come together.
What's funny is it actually almost feels bigger with the top on it, which is kind of wild to think about because you're crowding in the space.
Yeah, and it steps out as well because the canopy is a little wider than the tub.
Yeah, so you get that shoulder room that comes out a little bit. But it is pretty amazing how neat everything is designed to go together.
Yep.
I mean, that's the point, I guess, but it's cool to actually see it.
Yeah,
really cool.
The guys have been telling me that these production units have gone together 10 times easier than the beta units did, which is good news.
That is good news. That's great. And I assume it'll just get better and better with each one, at least for the first year or year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, our production team is every day they find 10 things that can be put together more easily, and then it goes back to the engineers. Benefit of a small team is that everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
So we can just say, hey, Paul, this wire didn't route properly. I need a little more slack. Can you give me another inch on it?
Very cool. So now this is almost a completely different production line designed to marry up here, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, so this is the other side of the W before they come together for marriage here. And you can see some different equipment as well. Here we have the cranes that can swing in. So this is how we bring in the windows, the solar panels, which have yet to be bonded onto the roof of this canopy.
So it comes from the supplier like this, and then you guys do the solar yourselves.
That's right.
And what's cool about the roof, can we show what we showed everyone earlier about some of the venting stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that was really neat.
Yep.
This whole, well, first of all, maybe before we make our way over there, this is quite an intensive process, I would imagine. I'm not a manufacturing expert whatsoever, but what is the bottleneck of the facility? Is it this marriage process and trying to get them together?
No, the ones that we've married already have gone pretty quickly. I think you want to talk to Luke, our production lead, to be sure, but I believe what he is most concerned about from a work content standpoint is that interior area.
The sub-assembly stuff?
There's not even the sub-assembly so much as just Station 3 right there. This is part of why we're trying to pull content out and sub-assemble portions of the interior outside of the vehicle and crane it in, is because we think Station 3 is going to be the most packed.
I see. A lot of intricate stuff, get the cabinets in, things like that. That just takes time.
Right. Bunch of fasteners.
You might need a 3 and a 3.5.
Yep. So I think that's probably where we're going to...
So it's not this then?
No. Canopy assembly is has been smooth.
If
so
you
far.
get everything dialed in, over the next year or so, how many?
If, when?
When you get it dialed in, how many do you think you can produce a week out of here?
This facility is capacitized. We were talking earlier to do 40 a month. So just
Over
shy,
one a day.
Yeah,
Damn.
just shy of 500 a year.
Oh, that's more than I was expecting.
out of this space.
That's cool.
Yeah. We think in the program there's still room to grow on top of that, and we won't be quite there by the end of next year, but we'll be running at a good clip.
So when we come here this time next year, we're going to see more stuff happening, hustle and bustle.
Should do.
Yeah, that'll
Should
be
do.
awesome. Okay, so this was something that fascinated me that you kind of showed us, and I was like, don't say anything, I want to get it on the video. Super cool, the integration, because you're designing a full system as an RV,
Yep.
like you told me off camera as well, every part needs multiple, functions, essentially. So rather than capping separately the exhaust vents from inside, you're just using the solar panels to work as a cap and generate solar.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
maybe you can explain some of how this routing is going.
They probably even cool the panels a little bit.
Yeah, probably a good point. You can get
they're
some
on.
better efficiency.
The holes are taped off right now, so detritus doesn't get in. But there are 2 holes for exhaust fans. One of which sits over the cooktop in the kitchen. The other one is inside of the shower for steam venting. And we could have put another layer to sort of enclose these channels and then put the solar panel on top of it, but instead we just use the solar panel as the top of the duct to enclose those channels so that you can exhaust air out of the rear through these two apertures.
How much solar in terms of peak kilowatt are you putting on?
1,840 watts,
Damn.
which is actually about I want to say it's almost a 200 watt improvement from our beta vehicles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we have been able to pull a lot of cost out of the Beta 1 solar design and made it significantly more performative.
That's awesome. I mean, I really think if you park that thing outside for a week, it'll be full charged.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
awesome. And
Yeah.
of course, you can backfeed your house.
Yeah, you should get on a good summer day, you'll get in excess of 10 kilowatt hours, and on
dang.
70 kilowatt hour pack, you're full in a week.
You're done. That's awesome.
Cool thing about that too is that if you're out driving for, let's say, 4 to 6 hours, it's great. I just got 30 extra miles of range just from the solar on top of what was already in the battery.
Dang.
It's pretty good.
That is cool.
It's like the first EV that is actually charging meaningfully while driving.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can say that for the
Maybe
first.
Aptera can say that
Aptera.
too.
Yeah, Aptera. I mean, yeah, they're getting close too. It's an exciting time for EVs.
Yeah, solar's coming.
Actually, this with Rivian and an Aptera 2-car solution. In terms of all the glass that you're using, automotive grade glass,
Yep.
tinted, pre-tinted, because obviously there's no tint law for a trailer. You can actually go pretty dark.
Yep.
How are you handling all of that? How's that been going for you?
So tempered single layer for the upper panes here for weight mostly because we weren't that worried about impact
Sure.
for them. Double pane safety glass down here, so you've got
Dang.
a layer of laminate in between. It's basically a windshield glass on all the flat sides here.
So some
bath
real
included.
juicy glass. I guess my main concern would be what's coming off the truck.
Right. And so on the front here, where we've got laminated glass, single pane, tempered, the front is actually a hard coat polycarb. So we use formed polycarbonate panes, basically like a blast shield material, same as in a hockey rink, for instance, that high impact resistant layer. And they have been remarkably good in testing so far.
Because I guess the downside would be you sometimes don't get the clearest view outside.
Yep.
And so how's that been with that material?
Yeah, distortion is the thing that we've continued to work with our supplier on. Scratching. So I guess the upside of going to a formed polycarbonate is it's better from a tooling standpoint and meaning just to form the plastic as opposed to a glass, and it's really impact resistant. So that as this canopy is down low in the road mode, any rocks that get kicked up, we've yet to see any chipping happen.
That's cool.
Which is awesome. The downside, or the thing you have to mitigate for, is hardness. They're not quite as scratch proof as a glass, and so we apply a hard coat layer, another spray on layer on both sides, inside and outside, which ups the hardness and has performed well so far.
Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that was we didn't know if you were going to put a cover on or something I'm sure people will come up with accessories for them as they come out, but hopefully you don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah, the first indications, I mean, we were in there earlier. That's done, over 10,000 miles, and the front windows.
Damn, that's a lot of miles, dude.
Don't show.
That's very impressive, actually. That's
we've
cool.
put tens of thousands on the fleet so far.
I mean, you've put more miles on some of these than we've seen like startup automakers put on their like almost ready to launch vehicles. That's pretty cool.
That's good news. They've been doing double duty, going to all the shows.
Yeah.
So they need
they got to get there somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the final is right under the Lightship logo. This is where marriage happens. Actually, I can show you a cool video of us doing our first canopy marriage about.
So which unit was it? That was it? This one here, the screen one?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. I'm probably kind of giddy in the background.
So you're using the crane. Is not your first time testing out the crane then? I guess in a real production environment.
Yeah, exactly. First time with an actual production canopy. So it comes around the loop here. It's kind of like a roller coaster. And then the guys lift it up just like that and bring it over.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
The body. The parts they aligned really well, and so we didn't have to adjust anything.
On the first try, it actually worked. Okay, that's impressive. So the math works.
Yep, totally works.
Nice.
Brought it straight down, and then fastened it in on those four lift points.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now we're doing final assembly on the interior of this one, and this is believe it or not, this is only a few working days from being fully assembled.
Wow.
At which point we'll start final integration testing on this and one other. You guys are probably going to get to go camping in it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
And
I know Scott's going to do that video, so that'll be fun. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, then it's time for a rollout.
Dude, congratulations on all of this. I mean, it must be pretty surreal to see it go from literally a sketch on a napkin to that unit about to roll out of here.
Yeah, you kind of can't think too hard about it. It's amazing to me that we are here, and I pinch myself.
Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
You guys should...
Before we close, I should mention, because this really matters, we also do a lot of inline testing as we go. So
explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so for instance, every canopy we do a water test on its own. We douse the canopy.
Outside, do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, before we put any components to it to make sure that it came in watertight. You'll maybe see as we leave, we have a big kind of water test gantry out there. It's basically looks like a car wash thing where it goes over top of the vehicle. And what are you laughing at?
Well, Scott just got rear-ended in a car wash.
Oh, okay.
I was laughing at Timon's car, which is not waterproof right now.
Oh, okay, that's true. And his car leaks when he brings it through a car wash.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to prevent that. So every vehicle upon final assembly will also get water tested. We do a full kind of like electronics diagnostic test to test every little piece of it, make sure it's all functioning well. Then we wrap it up, put a bow on it, and off to the user.
And when they want to come take delivery, I guess that would be kind of interesting to discuss. You don't have like a huge dealer network out there. Actually, no dealers at all, right? You guys are doing direct to consumer, which is the correct approach. And then you will also have your own service centers, this being one of them. Mm-hmm. And then when you take delivery here, or how does that work?
We were saying, so there's a couple choices. You can either come to the factory, pick it up here. You can come to our depot, our sales and service depot in South San Francisco, just north of the airport. Pick it up there if you're on the West Coast, or we will ship it to you. We'll put it on a flatbed and bring it right to your doorstep.
That's the lamest option. Pick it up here. This is cool, and then tow it back.
You should.
That's what I would do. Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, wish you the best of luck. It's amazing to see this all happen. You've got a team of really cool, passionate people. Everyone we talk to just loves what they're doing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you're building it here in Colorado. And it's also, I'm just so excited because it's a car, it's an RV. I love both of those things. You're building it literally to be a holistic package. I just want everyone to see this really quick again. Collapse down behind the truck. We're going to have this in the next video. So make sure you like and subscribe, as they say. And they're laughing because I never actually say that. And we can't wait to tow this damn thing. So let's end this video. Subscribe for the next one. We're going to be towing this. Thank you for having us here.
Thanks, Kyle.
And truly so exciting from an enthusiast perspective. Yes, I know we've got to get one of these. It's an expensive visit. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.